All right. Once I decided to put effort into showing my friends attention, approval, and affection, my friendships got better. Once I started using the 5 A's with women, my relationships got better significantly. I think the 5 A's are actually the most important. You'll see the most improvements with women because women live on the emotional plane. A lot of guys, myself included in the past, would get into an argument with a girlfriend and I would start being logical and breaking everything down because I'm a logical or I have the ability to use logic. And she would get upset because of my tone or the fact that I was acknowledging problems and solutions, but I wasn't acknowledging her feelings. And that was extremely frustrated for me. But when I started in my dealings with women, just talking straight to their emotions and softening the tone and, using agreement amplification, showing attention, showing approval, showing affection, my ability to generate positive solutions to conflicts and my ability to build deeper connections with women skyrocketed because 80% of communication is nonverbal. So being able to show that I'm coming from a place of kindness, that I'm coming from a place where she can feel safe, is much more important than being able to go through all these arguments logical, point by point. It's important to have those 5 A's in there as the foundation of that. Okay. And the best part of all this is the 5 A's don't cost you $1. In fact, the 5 A's make you money. In fact, the 5 A's are the best way to make money. Not only that, but they make the people around you happier, and that applies not just with friends, family, clients, and women, all the way down to the security guard and the checkout girl at the supermarket. Just by acknowledging her existence, looking her in the eye, showing at least some interest in how her day's going, responding in rapport, if she asks you a question back. Nobody does that, okay? They look at the poor checkout girls just in an ATM with hands to give them things. All right, it applies to the security guard in your building. It applies to everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, you're creating a positive atmosphere, okay? And people are going to be happy to see you. People are going to smile when they see you because they know that you're, when they see you, you lift people's states. Okay, you're a state generator. All right, and you'll see this in a lot of successful people. If you watch Grant Cardone videos, he's always in state. He's always acknowledging the security guards in his building and telling them he appreciates them. Gary Vaynerchuk's the same way. You'll see this. It's one of the defining characteristics in successful people. Donald Trump was always known for knowing the doormen of his building, appreciating them, shaking their hand. All those things, okay, are really important and are a major factor in something you'll see time and time again in people who are successful. They're cheerful and charming. They acknowledge people. They agree and amplify. They show attention. They show approval. They show affection or kindness, whatever you want to call it. Really important stuff, okay? With that said, I'm not telling you to lie, all right? Or to agree with things you don't agree with, or to be fake. I'm telling you to use your best self, and I'm telling you to find something in the other person's communication that you agree with and amplify that. So if I have a friend who tells me they went fishing for the weekend, I don't tell them that. Why would you do that? That sounds so boring, because to me it would be. I would agree and amplify with the fact that the guy's telling me this in an enthusiastic state and he's happy, and I would agree and amplify the fact that must have been fun for him, and I'm happy to hear he had a great time and got some much needed time off from his business. Okay, so I'm in rapport and I'm agreeing and amplifying, and I'm not lying or being fake in the process. I'm agreeing and amplifying with the fact that he enjoyed it and that he deserved to enjoy that, and he deserves to be, and that I'm happy that he's in a good mood. Okay. Now, there will be times where you do need to disagree in life, but they're much less often than you think. If you're used to disagreeing with people, you could probably cut that down by about 95%. There's rarely situations where I need to directly confront someone or directly disagree. And there's a way to disagree, okay, which is praise, light criticism of the action, not the person, followed by more praise, okay? And the Bible on this is how to win friends and influence people. I did an article and a video on that too, with not just summarizing it, but adding all my life experience and how I use those principles. But it's extremely important to be able to disagree in that way, so that the person's face is not insulted, so that their ego isn't bruised, so that they can tell you're coming from a place of kindness, and that you still want what's in their best interests, and you're not criticizing them. You're just saying, you know, this action, perhaps if you could change. Okay. And that really applies if you're a manager, or you've got employees or something like that, and they do something wrong in business where you have to correct them. It's, you pull them to the side. You don't do it in public. You do it in private, and you say, hey, look, John, you know, I really appreciate all the hard work you've done. I love having you here, you know, but if you could make sure that instead of just going to 2 closes with a client, you're going back and asking for the sale 5 to 7 times, because you and I both know that we've got to go 5 to 7 times to ask for the close, you know, in different ways with creative closes that we've worked on. That would be awesome, because I know that you're doing a great job, and you're going to continue to do a great job, and that's just going to elevate things even more. You know, do you think that's possible for you to be able to do that? And he's going to say yes, okay, because when you're a boss, you control people's revenue. They're going to be terrible. Just bringing them into the room, they're already scared that they could lose their job. So you do not need to be harsh at all. If anything, being harsh is just going to cause resentment. It's going to cause the guy to underperform. It's going to feel like, you know, it's going to hurt his self-esteem. You want people to know that you're building them up and you believe in them, but at the same time, gently correcting that behavior, so that you and your sales team can make more money. Same goes if a guy's missing his target. It's just, you know, it's sort of like, you know, you're doing great, but I noticed the target's not off. You know, what happened this month, and what do you think you can do better next month? And he's just going to say, you know, man, I was having problems with the girlfriend. My mind wasn't there. You're right. You know, I wasn't making the calls. I wasn't giving it 100%, but you know what? Next month, I'm going to dig in. I'm going to give 110. I'm going to do extra calls. I'm going to go after these clients. And then your response is awesome, man. I really appreciate, you know, you doing that. I believe that you're going to do that. I believe that your income is going to continue to go up, and, you know, continue to praise him a little bit. And by the end of the meeting, you know, you're walking out, you're shaking hands, you guys are laughing again, you're back into rapport. And my buddy Zach, who I initially worked for as a salesman, he was the manager of the office. It was really good at something like that. His corrections were maybe like a minute long, and enough to get the guy back on track and going hard again, without any of the resentment, without beating him down, without embarrassing the guy, without humiliating him, you know, without attacking the ego of the person. And that's such an important skill to have. And he would only do it when it's necessary. Okay, so the situations where it's necessary to degree are like business decisions, like the examples I just gave you, decisions where your future is dependent on someone else. If you have a girlfriend or something like that, and you're looking to move or somewhere, that's something where, you know, you're gonna have to disagree if she wants to move somewhere that you don't. Managing expectations or correcting actions of clients. I do a lot of business now in peak performance coaching, and it's my job to step in if I think a client is moving in the wrong direction in, you know, health, wealth, relationships, lifestyle, and to correct that. I mean, but of course I'm still going to do it with praise, and then the light criticism, the action followed by praise. But in business, it's my job to step in there and do that. And it'll be the same time if your client doesn't have the right expectations for the services, or maybe they're using the services incorrectly, or, you know, you're involved in their business in some way and they're doing something that you think will hurt their business and hurt their income. You know, it's your job to step in and gently disagree there. Okay, but you really want to save that for situations where it's truly necessary, which are going to be a lot less than you think. Okay, and lastly, the time to disagree is in response to disrespect. Okay, with that being said, I still think even in disrespect, you know, being gentle at least at first, is the best move. Okay, you disagree, but gentle criticism sandwiched between praise. If it's someone who's your friend or a girl that you're dating, okay, occasionally there will be some drama, and you're gonna have to, like, let's say you're dating a girl, you're gonna have to say, look, you can't speak to me that way. I really like hanging out with you, but you can't speak to me that way, and I want us to be able to continue to be happy and have a great day, and I want to be able to enjoy your company. Can we just, let's go back to being happy, okay? And most girls, if you've got good women in your life, that's going to be enough. It's done right there. So in almost all, in many cases of disrespect, being gentle is the first move. But there will be situations, occasionally, if someone's harshly disrespectful, where you have to be harsh back. To defend yourself, you deserve not to be insulted. And then either it's going to be escalating towards that, and either removing the person from your place or the office, or leaving their place, or leaving the club or the bar if somebody's mouthing off to you, so you don't get in a fight. And then thinking about, right, okay, how do I avoid that in the future, and looking towards getting that person out of your life.